The main task for defenders is obviously to defend, but some of them also like to chip in with goals. Players like Sergio Ramos, John Terry and Virgil van Dijk are renowned for this, but all of them pale in comparison to the legend himself, Ronald Koeman. The Dutch maestro isn't just another goal-scoring defender, he's the most prolific in history. While defenders today receive praise for their skills on the ball, Koeman was demonstrating those abilities decades ago. He stood apart from the rest and was a trailblazer ahead of his time. And this is his story. While Ajax, PSV and Feyenoord are responsible for developing some of the greatest Dutch talents, Koeman started his professional career at Groningen, where he made his debut aged 17 in 1980. His 6 goals in his debut season were considered a fine achievement, especially considering he played as a center back. But the incredible thing is, this would be his lowest season tally throughout his career. Koeman then scored an impressive 14 goals in each of the following 2 seasons, drawing attention from the biggest teams in Holland. As such, Ajax came calling for him in 1983. It was a big step for him coming into a team that had won the league in back-to-back seasons, increasing his chances of winning his first ever trophy. However, Ajax were beaten to the title by Cruyff's Feyenoord. Even so, on a personal level, Koeman continued his impressive goal-scoring form as he netted 9 goals that season. And in the next season, Ajax reclaimed the throne in an impressive manner, as they scored 93 goals in the league. He contributed 9 of those goals alongside his talented teammates including Van Basten, Bosman and Rijkaard. After tasting his first ever trophy, Koeman was hungry for more, but it was a rejuvenated PSV side that claimed the league title in the following season, while Ajax lifted the Dutch Cup. After 3 seasons, 2 major trophies and 30 goals, Koeman completed a controversial move to Ajax's bitter rivals PSV, who looked to be the strongest team in Holland at the time. While he received a fair bit of stick from the Ajax fans, Koeman believed PSV offered the ideal opportunity for him to fulfill his ambition of winning the European Cup. But those dreams appeared to be in serious jeopardy when the PSV coach Johan Cruyff resigned after PSV fell behind Ajax in the title race. Consequently, the assistant Guus Hiddink took over. Impressively, Hiddink managed to overturn Ajax's lead and lead PSV to glory, with Koeman's 16 goals playing an important role. While they secured the league title, their hopes for European glory were dashed, as they were eliminated from the European Cup by Bayern Munich in the first round. Consequently, the pursuit of European success remained a significant motivation both for PSV and Koeman as the new season began. Despite losing the irreplaceable Ruud Gullit at the start of the season, PSV showcased an impressive start to the league season as they won their first 17 games. Koeman, who was crowned Dutch Footballer of the Year in 1987, maintained his impressive goal-scoring form throughout the season. However, it was his defensive stability in European matches that allowed PSV to grind their way to the European Cup final. PSV clinched the league title in an impressive fashion after scoring a whopping 117 goals in a 34-game season. They then defeated Roda HC in the Dutch Cup final, completing the domestic double. And only Benfica stood between them and the elusive treble, a feat previously achieved by their bitter rivals Ajax in 1972. PSV showcased a resolute performance in the European Cup final as the game ended in a goalless draw and went to penalties. Koeman scored the first penalty as PSV won the shootout and completed the continental treble. He was immense for PSV throughout the season, both in attack and defense. The center back scored an unbelievable 26 goals during that season, whilst also being defensively resolute, especially in the European games. At the time, he was undoubtedly the best defender in the world. So when the 1988 European Championship arrived, Holland were one of the favorites, as their squad was stacked with incredible talents, including Van Basten, Rijkaard, Koeman, and the Ballon d'Or holder Ruud Gullit. Despite losing their first game to the Soviet Union, they reached the semi-finals by beating England and Ireland. As they finished runners-up of their group, They faced Group 1 winners and host West Germany in the semi-finals. Despite falling behind 1-0 in the game, Holland rallied back with an equalizer from Koeman and a winning goal from Van Basten. Then they faced the Soviet Union in the final, where goals from Ruud Gullit and Marco van Basten won Holland their first major international trophy. It was particularly special for Koeman as he lifted the two biggest European trophies in quick succession. While Van Basten and Gullit were praised for their incredible displays at the tournament, Koeman was equally important, contributing with his defensive skills and his ability to orchestrate attacks. Koeman went on to stay at PSV for another year, where he won the league title for a third consecutive season and the Dutch Cup back-to-back. But they couldn't repeat the European glory, as they were eliminated by Real Madrid in the quarter-finals. Koeman was once again named Dutch Footballer of the Year in 1988. In 1989, Dutch legend Johan Cruyff, then managing Barcelona, sought to recruit Koeman to Spain as he assembled his dream team. And as a result, Koeman concluded his successful chapter at PSV, where he secured several major trophies and scored 63 goals in 3 seasons. On Koeman's debut season, Cruyff's Barca couldn't stop Madrid from winning their 5th La Liga in a row, but they did beat Madrid in the Copa del Rey final, showing early signs that they have what it takes to compete with the dominant Los Blancos. On a personal level, it was an incredible debut from the center back, as he scored 19 goals in all competitions for Barcelona. Back then, La Liga teams were only permitted to have 3 foreign players, so Cruyff had to make careful selections. Fortunately for Barcelona, their subsequent addition Hristo Stoichkov significantly enhanced the team dynamics. Guided by Cruyff's total football philosophy, the team flourished, showcasing some of the most fluid football the game had ever seen. Ronald Koeman, anchoring the defense in a 3-4-3 formation, was granted the freedom to roam and deliver defense-splitting passes from midfield, rendering him an invaluable asset for Cruyff. And in the 1990-91 season, Barcelona won the La Liga convincingly, putting an end to Madrid's dominance in the process. While the La Liga glory was much needed, it was the European Cup that Barca fans had been dreaming about for decades. During the 1991-92 European Cup campaign, Barca made it all the way to the final after topping a group containing Benfica, Dynamo Kiev and Sparta Prague. An Italian champion Sampdoria awaited them in the final. Barcelona came into this game after securing the La Liga title for the 2nd season in a row, but the final against Sampdoria ended in a stalemate and was pushed into extra time. As each minute passed, it seemed like the game would be decided by penalties. However, in the second half of extra time, Barca were awarded a free kick near the 16-yard box. Taking charge as the free kick specialist, Koeman stepped up just as he had done countless times before. He smashed it past the Sampdoria goalkeeper, securing Barca their first ever European Cup. In the process, he etched his name in the Barcelona history books for eternity. Barca went on to win the La Liga in the following 2 seasons, making it 4 in a row. And they did reach the 1994 Champions League final where they faced AC Milan. Despite Milan's superior experience in the competition, Cruyff's Barca were the favourites going into the game. However, they were thrashed 4-0 by the Rossoneri as Capello completely outclassed Cruyff.
Mauro Tassotti, 34 años.
Despite the disappointment, Koeman finished as that season's top scorer in the Champions League with 8 goals, an incredible feat for a centre-back. After a stellar 6 seasons, during which he won several major trophies and scored 88 goals, Koeman concluded his chapter at Barcelona before returning to Holland to play for Feyenoord. This made him one of the few players to have played for each of the big 3 in Holland. He spent 2 seasons in Rotterdam before hanging up his boots in 1997. Koeman made over 680 club appearances throughout his career, scoring a whopping 240 goals, a record no defender is likely to surpass. While newer generations recognize him for his coaching career, many consider him to be one of, if not the best ball-playing and technically gifted defenders of all time. In addition to his goals and assists, he was a very astute defender who could easily read games and stay one step ahead of attackers. He stands out as one of the most complete footballers the game has ever seen, and holds a rare profile among those who have graced the pitch.